Hundreds of homeowners across the country, thousands indeed, are continuing to deal with the aftermath of last month's flooding when 10% of the country's entire annual rainfall fell within a few short hours. But what do you do if your insurance policy doesn't cover your losses, and how can you protect your home against future disasters?
Joining us this morning to talk us through the options available is Joe Fernandez from Chill Insurance. Joe, you're very welcome to the show this morning.
Thanks very much.
Joe, let's talk about what's probably in most people's minds, and the freshest in most people's minds, is flooding.
Absolutely.
If people were flooded, I guess it's too late to go out and do anything about it from an insurance perspective now. But if you are dealing with your insurance company at the moment and you're finding it difficult to get reinsured, what do you do?
Okay. If you've had a flood claim, most insurance companies will actually offer you a quotation when the policy falls due for renewal. In some instances, they may increase the excess. So the excess on a policy is the first amount a customer would pay in the event of a claim. Usually it's in around €250. That's called a standard excess, but they might increase that to 1,000 or more.
But given how catastrophic flood damage can be, Joe,
yes.
I mean, it's not minor flood damage. You're talking about major renovation and maybe weeks and months of work.
Absolutely.
So the excess will be high. It will be at the upper end rather than at the lower end, won't it?
Yes. Well, it depends on the first claim essentially, but yes, it could start at €1,000 and it could go up to €5,000 that you would have to pay. And in some cases then some insurance companies won't offer a flood cover.
And what do you do? And me and Mark were talking about this. We heard this from an awful lot, especially in Bandon and other places where flooding happens on a not regular basis, but unfortunately every couple of years or so. If you're told by your insurers, we just won't cover you, that's it, end of story, what do you do then, especially if you're a business?
Actually, as an addendum to that question, legally, do they have to offer you cover?
Yeah, they don't actually.
No.
This is the one thing. With regard to car insurance, it's a legal requirement to have third-party cover to get your car on the road.
Okay.
Home insurance, unfortunately, it's not a legal requirement. Right. You need it for the banks when you're getting your mortgage out, of course, you know, but it's not a legal requirement to have insurance. So therefore, the insurance companies don't have to offer you terms in some instances. So what I would say to people is, no matter what, always shop around. Contact a few insurance companies, contact an independent broker. We at Chill Insurance act as an independent broker. We deal with over 14 insurance companies. We can shop the market for you. There also, if you have a mortgage, the mortgage company want to make sure that the house is covered for future events. Go back to them, because most companies, mortgage companies, have insurance facilities as well.
Well, that's a good tip, because it's in their interest to see that you are insured.
But also your mortgage can be in jeopardy if you can't get insurance, can't it?
That's it, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Eventually, you'll find somebody to offer you insurance, but it may be at an exorbitant fee that you can't afford. What do you do then?
I mean, the most important thing to get is to get the cover. You might be able to get facilities of direct debit payments with the insurance companies. You can pay it on an instalment basis. But I think it's important that if you had a flood claim, you really have to protect yourself for the future to make sure you have cover again.
Are insurance companies willing now to do deals as such? Are they acknowledging that people don't have as much in their pocket as they used to, but still need cover? Are they willing to accept lower payments over longer terms? Are they trying to help their customers?
They are, I think, absolutely. I mean, they want to have cover for their customers at the end of the day, so that most companies these days will operate a direct debit facility where you can spread the payments over a period of a year.
I'm just wondering, though, I mean, if say, for example, Shade and I had a house and it was flooded out and it was badly damaged, and the insurance company said, listen, forget it, we're not, or they quoted such a high figure that it wasn't financially viable for us. Surely when we go back into the market to look for somebody else, they're going to ask us about our history. And any other insurance company is going to say exactly the same thing, or going to say, well, if they're not going to touch you, why should we?
Yeah. That would be the case with the majority of insurance companies, but there's still insurance companies that are liaising with the Office of Public Works, and there's more defence controls put in place. They're going to re-engage with the insurance companies so that they can have better defence controls, and the insurance companies then should offer terms to the customers.
Okay, let's say that you are looking to sign a new insurance policy for home and against bad weather and against flooding and everything else. Let's talk about what you need to look for, because there's very specific things in the small print that you want to make people aware of. Talk us through those.
Absolutely. I would always say to people, when you get your policy documents out in the post, read them. You're going to pay, you know, €300 and €400 for home insurance.
They're not an easy read, Joe, I have to admit.
No, they're not. So what I would say to people is go to specific sections of the policy where you have exclusions and terms and conditions, and read those parts.
So anywhere you see the word exclusions or terms and conditions, read every single bit of that.
Actually, just to back up, and again, as an addendum to that question, when you get your new policy, do you have to be, I mean, you automatically think, okay, I have a policy with one insurance company, I've moved to another, and you say, this is what I had. You presume that you're getting like for like, but that's not always the case, is it?
No, it's not always the case. I suppose what you have to make sure is you're looking for the quotation, that you're asking the companies the questions, you're making sure that you have your information to hand and that you're getting a quote based on a like-for-like basis.
So make sure that you know exactly what it is you're being covered for and what it is you're looking for cover for.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because a lot of people have difficulties in working out how much value they have and how much value they should say they need coverage for. I mean, say you reckon your contents are worth 30 grand. Should you insure them for a greater value than that? What's the recommendation?
No, always go for what you reckon they are actually worth. So a tip would be to go through the house room by room, and God forbid, in the event of a claim, a total loss claim.
What it would cost you to replace them?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, building some insured. The other thing is, as well, is a tip is that traditionally you would have kept renewing the same building sums insured, but over the last couple of years, the rebuilding costs have actually decreased. So therefore, you should decrease your sums insured in the buildings in line with rebuilding
One of the
cost.
things that was interesting that I saw in the notes was that if you have an add-on to the building and there's a flat roof on it, which a lot of houses in Ireland would have, be very careful of the insurance regarding that flat roof.
Absolutely. Some insurance companies will exclude storm damage if the roof is over 5 years old.
If it's over 5 years
Right.
old?
Yeah.
But pay particular attention to flood sections, burst pipe sections, unoccupancy sections, as this is where you'll find most of the exclusions and the policy conditions.
Absolutely.
And that's how you'll know what you're covered for or not.
Yes.
Okay.
And people, as you said, can always check out your insurance or online, or people can call you or go to one of your shops. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Thanks,
We
sir.
will take a break now and see you back here in a few minutes' time.